Welcome to the Rap Soul Podcast, where we dive deep into the world of music that moves our hearts and gets our feet tapping. This is the intersection of rap and soul music from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. We appreciate you for listening. Share this podcast with a friend or family member who loves music as much as you do. The podcast is hosted by 12 Kyle. Next up, the Rap Soul Podcast.
Think about it like this when you think about N.W.A. Not only do you pay attention to N.W.A.'s tree, which, each member has their own tree, but N.W.A. made the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame off of 2 albums. That's it. 2 albums.
So.
Welcome to another edition of the Rap Soul Podcast. I am your boy 12 Kyle. I want to thank you all for tuning in as you do each and every week. Again, this is the Rap Soul Podcast. This is the intersection where we have discussions about music, more specifically hip-hop, rap, soul, and R&B. This is the best music podcast that you have never heard until right now. Again, I want to thank you all for tuning in. Shout out to those of you who are watching on YouTube as well as Spotify. Man, check this out. All right, so earlier today, I was going through my notes. I keep a lot of notes in my notes app on the old trusty iPhone, right? And I came across an episode that I sent to myself probably about 6 months ago, and I'm just now getting around to doing it. And we were on an IG Live a few minutes ago, and, today's guest, he was on the IG Live, and I said, instead of doing, something just clicked in my head, like instead of doing this episode alone, why don't I get him to come back on the podcast and do it again? This is the homie, the host of the BTG For President Podcast. My boy Baylor is back in the building. Baylor, what up?
Hello, beautiful black people. Yes, it is I. I have returned. That check has cleared. Yes, indeed. Yes. Had to work overtime for that one.
There you go. Yeah, man. And it's interesting because you've been on here before, but the time, or at least one of the times when we talked LA hip hop, because Baylor is from LA, the East Side. And so when you came on before, we were talking LA hip hop. It was me, you, and the homie Uncle Dolomite. Shout out to Uncle Dolomite from the Too Much Game podcast. The billionaire Uncle Dolomite.
Yeah.
And we talked about I think it was the top 25 hip hop artists from LA. And I think it may have been based on a list that Game had put out, the rap of the Game. This list, I want to say, is from complex.com. They put out a list sometime in 2025 at the time of this recording. And they actually had a list of the top 100 Los Angeles hip hop albums. Really, they could have done 101 or 110 because if you know, the 101 and the 110.
There you
go. Stay away from the 405 if you got somewhere to go.
Unless you want to be in some traffic.
But what we wanted to do was condense it down to 25. And so on this episode, what I want to do, Baylor, is I'm going to tell you what Complex did as far as the artists and the albums that they ranked. They didn't give a specific criteria, so I don't know who did this at Complex. I found the list to be interesting, and I'm not going to go through the 100, but after we finish, I'll go back and share with you some albums that did make the top 25. Okay. I'm almost positive that with you being an LA native, you've heard all of these albums. Personally, I don't think that there's an album in this top 25 that I haven't heard. Being a lover of West Coast hip hop, there's quite a few on here that I bought. And there's a couple on here that have me scratching my head as to how they made the top 25. But nonetheless, let's get it cracking. Coming in at number 5, 1996, West Side Connection, Bow Down. So tell me, Baylor, if just off the top of your head, do you think that of the LA albums, and again, now keep in mind, and I forgot to preface this, folks, I'm the only one that has the list. Baylor is literally, he just found out about this podcast about 10 minutes ago.
Right.
So he doesn't know. So I'm going to ask him, like, does he think that that's fair? Or if he would personally rank these albums either higher or lower, or maybe outside of the top 25. So Baylor, what say you?
And that was at number 5?
No, it's at 25.
Oh, wait. The West Side Connection?
West Side Connection, Bow Down from 1996 is at number 25.
I think that's way too low.
Okay.
That's way too low. I think that, to me, that might be like a top 15
Okay.
all time for me. Top 15 for sure.
Yeah, man. I graduated from South Carolina State in 1996, so West Side Connection got a lot of play in my Nissan Sentra. I do know that.
Yeah, they had a quick little run. It wasn't, we've seen a lot of crew runs and stuff like that, but and that one was fairly quick, but it had a stamp in the game, and that was a great album.
It was
yeah. So I would consider that, like, as far as the dynamics, how you look at it, how you got those 3 artists that's from our side of town, our backyard, the gang politics behind it, yeah, the cities and the blocks that was involved in that, the music that they did. Yeah, I would say that's, to me, top 15 for sure.
Yeah, I think, I would make a case that it'd probably be the top 15 for me as well.
If that's that low, that means we got some recency stuff going on.
Well,
and
we'll
it's
see.
top 25.
We'll see. I mean, there's going to be a couple that may surprise you. Moving in to number 24, 1991, N.W.A. The album is entitled Niggas for Life.
Yeah.
And I remember this vividly because I just graduated from high school in 1991. Personally, I think it's a top 15 LA album. What about you, Baylor?
It's along the same lines of the argument for the West Side Connection, Bow Down. It's in the same, to me, that's in the same, almost in the same boat. To be honest with you, this is probably one of those albums that we consider a classic because of the time it dropped and who was a part of it. I was 9.
Right.
So, did I totally understand what was going on off that album? No. But but it was played.
Right.
I can't argue against it for being in the top 15. I think that's fairly low as well.
Okay.
Both of those albums to me are too low for me.
Okay. All right. So we move on to number 23, like Michael Jordan. 1995's from the Dog Pound. The album is called Dogg Food.
Oh, I'm gonna be extremely biased on that one.
Hey, speak on it. Well, tell me what you got.
I feel like now I can only speak for myself.
Yeah, just your perspective.
I think that's a top 10 West Coast album of all time. Dogg Food? Absolutely. Oh my, you talking about wearing that CD out? Yeah, and I was young. I was still young. I think I was in middle school when that came out. And when my older brother and his friends was playing, they played that mess like crazy. I mean, this was when you got your money's worth.
Right.
You spent your $18 and stuff like that to go get it. And it was worth it. And like on one of your previous episodes, man, like when those CDs dropped and you wasn't able to get off work or get out of school and get there, it would sell out. You would have to wait. You would have to wait. And nobody is going to be, you know how many times I got asked, hey, can I borrow your DMX? And then there was X. Niggas was trying to, if they didn't ask me to borrow the actual CD, they asked to borrow my CD player, which irritates me even more because nowadays you can just plug your phone up and recharge your battery. Back in the day, you had to go get batteries for your CD player, or else you're gonna start hearing a remix a little slow until it die out. But yeah, no, if you wasn't in line to get that album the day it came out, man. And that's what made music back then so great to listen to, because it was appealing in a certain way. They sold it a different way, and we wasn't oversaturated, but we had some heavy hitters, and that was definitely a heavy hitter in the 90s.
Oh, no doubt, no
So
doubt.
I give it top 10.
Yeah, I could make a case. I will make a strong case that this is out of place. Again, I was in college at the time, so I was really, really, I hate using the term in that bag, but I was really on a West Coast bag at that particular time. And yeah, Dogg Food, I could make a case definitely as a top 10 West Coast, LA album. That that was one of the ones, man, like I still go back to it. All the time. Even if it's just singles, I still, bang them all the time. So I don't know who came up with this list, but this is way too low.
Man, it had one of the coldest non-diss songs on there.
Right.
One of the
right.
smoothest. New York that's
no doubt.
crazy
No doubt.
record, right? That mug's so smooth.
You actually mentioned my favorite song. My favorite song on that album was Smooth. That's my joint.
Yeah.
That's my joint right there.
Yeah.
In fact, I think we may have talked about that on the LA Culture Songs. I think I may have mentioned that as an honorable mention. Next up, 1988 from the homie King T, Act a Fool. Now, what I also forgot to mention is there's a 10-year difference between me and Baylor. At the time of this recording, I'm 53, Baylor's 43. So 88, which in my opinion is the greatest year in hip hop, King T was a staple with this album. It was, a really, really dope album to come out in 88. Baylor was very small when this came out.
Yeah, I was 5.
What do you think about Act a Fool being at number 2? Is it where it should be? Should it be lower? Should it be higher?
Yeah, this is what you said, 22 or 23?
Yeah, it's 22.
22. So here, out of respect, yes, I was 5 when that hit the scene. I know all the stories and stuff because that's what's talked about when we start talking about West Coast history and where it started, etc. Yeah, I've heard of him. Did I listen to him like that? No. Did I hear him? Absolutely. So out of respect, I can't say anything negative because I respect my elders, and I know, and everybody that has spoke on him. I always say if he did not lose his voice, we're having a different type of conversation. We got a lot of artists like that didn't live long enough, or one way or the other, like it just didn't work out for them. But they have it. They had it, or they had it, have it at the time that they were hot. So I can't argue it to be higher. I can just say I agree where it's at.
Yeah. I would say the same. King T, Act a Fool, I played the hell out of it. I had the tape. And I don't think I bought the tape. I think my boy Jay Fresh dubbed it for me, but King T was one of the first ones that we heard coming out of LA. And that particular album was really, really dope. And one of the things I remember was like it had that knock. It was one of those albums that when we played it loud. So like you would get in your car, even though we weren't even driving then. We were just you get in the car and sit in the driveway and just put in the tape deck and play it. Oh, wait a minute. Where were we driving? We might have been driving then. Because, I got my license. Yeah, I would have been driving because I got my license at 14. So, yeah, King T, Act a Fool. I think 22 is where it probably should be. Next up, 1993. The group is Cypress Hill. The album, Black Sunday, at 21. I'll be the first to admit, I think Cypress Hill is a very, very dope group. However, I didn't really listen to a lot of Cypress Hill outside of their singles. I know I heard the Black Sunday album. I didn't buy it, but I heard it all the way through. I think that Cypress Hill fans will probably say that it should be lower. I think at the number 21, it's where it should be. What say you?
I'm going to say the same thing, but here's the thing. I remember talking highly on Be Real, right?
Okay.
And where he should be ranked at, because they did something that a lot of groups, maybe outside of NWA,
Mm-hmm.
that nobody really has done. Dilated people, maybe, but they had crossover fans.
Facts. Big
They had
facts.
two different type of fan bases. They had a little bit of rock in there. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of gothic people at my school that was listening to them.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it was like they were able to blend in that their hip hop with their style of hip hop with like that rock and roll lifestyle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It had like a rock and roll mosh pit type of feel to it. And they had one of the biggest fan bases out here
Oh,
for
no
a group
doubt.
and for artists. So, but again, it was different when you compare it to a lot of albums that we haven't said yet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's going to be remembered measured up to these albums. But they
No doubt.
do have a core fan base that's like similar to like Marvel or Star Wars. You know what I mean? So again, like you said, they'll probably want to rank it a little bit lower.
No doubt. Yeah, and I always take that into consideration anytime I'm talking about Cypress Hill because, that was something that we noticed even back then without the internet early on was that they had a crazy following. I remember seeing videos of a Cypress Hill concert, and I mean, bro, you see all shades, black, brown, a lot of brown in the crowd, Hispanic,
a lot of brown,
and white. You know what I mean? So, and their subject matter was a little bit of everything. So there was a lot of stuff in their music that everybody could relate to. They could relate to Smoke. They could relate to the gangs. They could relate
they tapped into the to the marijuana.
Oh, no doubt.
Groups. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
Like they played Dr. Green Thumb. Like they knew what
Yes.
they was doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they smoke with the best of them. So yeah, shout out to Cypress Hill. All right, so now we've made our way down to number 20. Number 20, the year was 1992. The group, The Far Side, the album entitled Bizarre Ride to the Far Side. Number 20, do you think it should be higher, lower, or where it is?
Lower, but for the super hip hop heads, they probably gonna say something different. To me, I think the super elite elder hip hop heads is gonna have this probably top 15. I'm good where I'm good where it's at.
You know what, man? I love this album. I love this album for many reasons, but probably the most prominent reason is that this album was my introduction to my personal opinion, the greatest hip hop producer ever, and that was the late great James DeWitt Yancey, aka Jay Dilla. So Jay Dilla's beats are heavily spread throughout this album, and that's one of the reasons why I love it as much as I do. I can make a case that it could be higher, but probably no higher than 15. I don't necessarily, looking at what we have stacked up, I don't know that I can place this album ahead of some of the heavy hitters that we're going to get to in just a few. But still another great album. Number 19, the year again, 1988, the legend, the late legend, Eazy-E, his debut album, Easy Does It. Man. Coming in at number 18, Baylor, where do you think this should be ranked?
Ooh-wee. See, now when you start talking about the legacy of LA, that's different. When you talk about the Nips and you talk about the K-Dots, and for however people want to look at Pac at this point, you know what I mean? Because we know what that is. We know what that comes with. But strictly home team, Eazy-E will always be in it. He will be right there. He will be right there next to those other two names that I said. And that's just pure legacy wise. Album, I can see it being argued in the top 15.
Right.
I can see it argued being in the top 15. Somewhere between probably 10 and 15.
Yeah, you get an argument from me. This was the first one where, and you know how it is when you see lists. There's the one album that gives you that instant reaction of, oh hell no, this was it. Personally, and again, it's sentimental because I feel like those albums from '88 were that much better than everything else that we've heard, up until that point. And it was a great year.
And there's nothing you can compare it to either. That's the thing.
Nothing.
That's when we start talking about the early '80s and the early '90s. A lot of those are considered classics and probably not to be moved or messed with, is because they put out some art that wasn't, nobody has seen anything prior to this.
Never seen, never heard.
So they planted the flag, and that holds a lot of weight.
Yeah, I will say Baylor unequivocally. And again, there's some sentimental things tied into this, but unequivocally, I have this album as a top 5 album to me. Top 5, maybe no worse than 10. Eazy-E, Easy Does It. We move to 18. 1991. The title is Original Gangster, and the album is from none other than Ice-T. What you got?
I was just thinking about him as we were talking about Eazy-E. Yeah. I mean, again, that was another album that came out when I was just before I turned 10. So I'm not sure how much of we was getting information between him, Eazy, N.W.A, and it's like the message was about the police.
Yep.
So, it's just a matter of at this point, who do you want to hear the delivery from?
Right.
And he had a unique voice, the unique approach to his records. Probably one of the coldest, scariest records I've ever heard of all time in colors. You know what I'm saying? That still frightens me. But yeah, I mean, I could see him hovering around that area, maybe 2 slots lower, 2 slots higher.
Right. Yeah, I think for the topic of this discussion, I would put this album definitely in the top 20, top 25. No way past 25. I think at 18, just based on what we've said so far, because like I can make a case that Eazy Does It's better. I can make a case that I definitely can make a case that Dogg Food is better. Niggas for Life is better. Bow Down is better. So I would move it down. So it'd probably for me be a top 20 album, no less than 25, but definitely worthy of the top, worthy of being on this list. I have no problem with it being at 18 because I still think it's a dope album. But that's probably where I would rank it. Next up, number 17. We go to 1989. The DOC, No One Can Do It Better. Of course, many of you know DOC shortly thereafter, I think maybe a year after this album came out, he was in this horrific car accident, lost his voice. But before that happened, the DOC, trust me, as someone who was outside in 1989, was on a rise like none other. I think this is too low. I think this album is a top 10 LA album. Even though DOC is, and I know somebody's out there, he ain't from LA.
Yeah.
For the sake of this,
they're gonna do the Pac thing, yeah.
For the sake of this discussion, it's an LA album. Okay? It was produced by Dr. Dre, and he was with N.W.A as far as their crew. So we'll make this an LA album. So yeah, and Baylor, I'll be honest, this album, I still play this album at least once or twice every month.
And this is at 17, right?
Yeah, this is at 17. No one can do it better. So I will make the case that it's too low. It should be higher, and I think it's a top 10 album. Even if it's at 10, it's a top 10 album from LA. What about you?
Now, you said it should be higher. Are you saying, so you said top 10?
Yes. I would move it in. I can't really think
on the higher side, closer to 10?
Closer to 10.
I mean, that's
and it's only 7 slots down, but still.
That's a lot of slots, though. That's majority of the. Yeah.
It is.
That's a leapfrogging a lot of people. That's why That's why, because look, here's the thing. Like 12 Cal told you in the beginning, I don't know the list at all. So I don't know. I'm just going based off song by song.
Right.
I may have did the whole comparison thing in my head, but I'm not really thinking of too many albums right now.
Right.
Depending on what artist is going to be brought up. I don't know. So I'm just going off of what I hear.
No,
First
and
instinct,
that's a great point. That's a great point. And when we get to the top 10, there's an album in the top 10 that I can tell you that I personally would take out of the top 10. Not that it's a dope out, because all albums in the top 10 are dope. But I have, there's an album in the top 10 that that I would move it out of the top 10 and put No One Can Do It Better in the top 10. So I'll let you know when we get there.
When we get there,
we get there.
But when we get there, can I guess it first?
Sure.
When we get there, though.
Yeah, when we get there.
Okay. All right. Because I think I may have an idea.
Okay. So coming in at number 16 from 1992, the group is Compton's Most Wanted. The album is entitled Music to Drive By. I remember this album very, very well. I personally think it's probably where it should be. I can't really make the case that it should be higher, and I don't necessarily know that it needs to be any lower.
I can't put it higher because we're getting too close now. We're getting too close. We're getting too close, and there's at least 4 or 5 artists that I haven't heard yet. That's why I said I can't.
Exactly.
That's why I said I can't. I can even push that album back towards between 17 and like 21.
Fair. And that's what you'll see, Baylor, because in your mind, again, because Baylor doesn't have this list, he knows what's coming. Pause.
Yeah. Well, in a way, so, because I feel like it's going to be a surprise. Sooner or later, it's going to be a surprise that I'm looking for. It hasn't popped up yet.
All right, so we get to number 15. Number 15 also is from Ice-T. Again, 1988, the greatest year in hip hop. The album is called Power. I definitely think, and I love Power. There's nothing that can move Power up for me. I'm not gonna move it back, but there's nothing I can move it up for. What about you?
Now we're in the 15 range. We're in the 15. This is well, in basketball, it's called the Sweet 16, but we're inside that Sweet 16 now, and it is. I can't. Power will have to back it up a little bit. It will have to. Somewhere around 18.
Okay.
Maybe. You know what I mean?
Right. So it's getting good. It's getting good.
This is his second album on the list.
Yes. Exactly. All right. So number 14. The year was 1990. The artist, my boy Ice Cube. The album, America's Most Wanted.
What number was this again?
14.
Personally,
and me and Ice Cube may be the only people that are going to say this. Personally, I think it is a top 10 album. We've run out of space, really, for the top 10 in my mind. But personally, I think I could move it there. Baylor, I love this album. I was in high school at the time, and it's sentimental because I played it so much. Like, I played it. There was a point in my life where America's Most Wanted got played every single day. And I mean, being in high school and you bumping it on your way to school, you bumping it on the way to practice. So there's a sentimental value. So that's why I said only me and Ice Cube are probably going to put it in the top 10. But yeah, it's at 14. What do you think?
If we're at 14 and that's Ice Cube's first album and Ice-T already has 2,
right?
It's not going to be enough room.
Exactly.
Because that to me, that's a top 10. That's a top 10 album. And somewhere between 1 and 7.
Right.
Because if you are a Cube fan, Cube fans will argue amongst each other about his 3-album run. You know what I'm saying?
If you're not watching on Spotify or YouTube, it's a Cube. I'm raising my hand. I'm a Cube fan here.
I can't look because I want to see. we next one is 13, right?
Yep.
There is not enough slots left.
There's not enough room.
That is crazy. We're just now getting the well. We had West Side Connection. That doesn't count. That's a group.
Right. Don't count. Mm-hmm.
That doesn't count. And
right.
we just now getting the cube.
Just now getting the cube. So we got a little ways to go. So America's Most Wanted you're cooler with it at 14?
I'm moving that down some. I don't think I don't think it should be outside of the top 10 at all.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. All right. Number 13. Lucky number 13. We are going to 1991. The artist DJ Quik.
Oh,
the album.
Wow.
No. Oh, excuse me. I misspoke. No. That's correct. 1991. The album Quik is the name. I was about to say the wrong name. So this is Quik's first album. So that's the album with Tonight.
That has to be. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It has so much top 5.
I want to move it down, Baylor. I just can't.
I have to, because this is a house party like anthem before, like, this is legendary right here.
Right.
To have this out. This is at what number again? 13?
It's at 13.
I can't understand that one. I can't understand that one at all.
It might make a little sense as we move further. So so for now, for the sake of this discussion, you're keeping it at 13, or would you move it down?
No, I'm moving it down.
Okay. All right. So then we get to number 12. The artist, Warren G. 1994. Man. Regulate the G-Funk era. One of the things about this album that nobody ever talks about, and I've heard it mentioned a couple of times in documentaries, was this was the album that literally and figuratively saved Def Jam. Mm-hmm. And it's funny, Baylor, because I think when the album came out, I don't even remember it being on Def Jam. Because when I think Def Jam, you think LL, you know what I'm saying? You think the
I don't even associate it with, even associate it with Def Jam.
But this album, from what I'm told, literally and figuratively saved Def Jam, kept the lights on. And then the next wave of Def Jam artists was the Method Mans and the DMXs and those type of cats.
Yeah.
So this album, again, from Warren G, the G-Funk era, Regulate the G-Funk era, 1994. Again, back on the campus of South Carolina State University, getting so much play in my in my 89 Nissan Sentra sitting on 13s.
You keep them clean, though.
Oh, yeah, I kept them clean. Oh, man, that car was immaculate. It's at 12, man. It's worthy of the top 10, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But it's at 12, and I got to keep it at 12.
I based off of how many slots is left, I can't move it.
Yeah.
It feels like it should be top 10, but I can't move it right now. It's at a good spot.
Okay.
It's at a great spot for me, actually.
It is.
Even with the 11 other spots available, I think that's at a fair spot right there. That's a fair spot right there. If you would have said 11 or 13, I'm like, okay.
Right. All right. Okay. So now we move to number 11, 1995. Again, the homie DJ Quik. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. That is the title of the album. Now, Baylor, you're older now. This 95, you're older now.
Yeah. A different type of gang politics we talking about right there. That's the peak of the hat era right there. Yeah, I mean, again, I think it's the same. I can't argue it. I can argue it to be lower. I mean, higher in the sense that it's higher to the top 10.
Right.
But no, that's in a great place too. That's in a great place.
Okay. Yeah, man. again, another sentimental thing for me. 95, the West was winning.
Mm-hmm.
The West was winning. And, it wasn't probably until a couple of years after this album came out that I really got a better understanding of what you mentioned, the gang politics that were involved in this album. We know about the diss, but I didn't know streets, proximities, da-da-da-da-da. At the time I was dating my girlfriend in college, and, she said, I remember I was playing the album one day in the car, and she said something, and she said, "Oh, he's from Treetop." Like, what does that mean? And she said it as if, like, I was supposed to know. And I said, well, I don't know what that means. And she, being from Compton, said that blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, okay. And she was like, well, this, and then she started kind of breaking it down for me, like, this area right here don't mess with this area. These guys don't mess with these. I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. That being said, nah, I got to keep it at 11.
Yeah.
All right, brother. We're at number 10.
Here we
We're
go.
at number 10. All right. So number 10, coming in at number 10, 2018, the debut studio album from one Aramis Ashtigam, a.k.a. Neighborhood Nip, a.k.a. Nipsey Hussle. The album is entitled Victory Lap. At number 10, Baylor.
Yeah. This is the album that I think that you would replace the DLC album with.
Nope.
No? It's not?
No.
Okay, that was my guess.
That's a good guess, but I'm not moving Victory Lap back.
Right.
In my mind, I'm trying to find a way to push it up.
Yeah. I think it can go. I think that album can go anywhere between, to be fair and to be honest, because I'm a Nip fan.
Right.
I'm gonna say, whoa, between 5 and 10.
Okay,
that's
fair.
I think it's good between 5 and 10.
Same. If I were to move it for sentimental values, I could put it somewhere between 5 and 10. I can't move it beyond 5. Next up, number 9, 2015, the brother, Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
The album To Pimp a Butterfly.
To Pimp, yeah.
What say you, Baylor?
That is To Pimp. Yeah. The reason why it's difficult for me is because I have a 3-way tie for first place for his albums.
Okay.
A 3-way tie between 2 other albums. And
he says a 3-way tie. Wow.
A 3-way tie, yeah. And the crazy part is this is what I was waiting on. Because there's still 2 other heavy hitters, and 3 really that hasn't been mentioned yet, really.
Right.
So I have to keep it right there.
Okay.
I have to keep it right there, and he could pop up again. That's the thing. So I got to keep him right there.
Exactly. And what's interesting, y'all, is particularly for those of you who are watching on Spotify and YouTube, is seeing his face when I tell him the albums that are being mentioned here. Because I can see but I can also see the wheels turning in his head, because it's like he knows what's coming up next. All right, so next up is number 8. So I'm going to go back to what you mentioned earlier. If I were going to move, just on sentimental value, if I were going to move No One Can Do It Better, I could make a case that I could take No One Can Do It Better at 17 and put it at 8 and replace the album that they selected at number 8, and that would be 2005, the rapper The Game, the album The Documentary.
Oh, whoa.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes.
I didn't see that one coming. I knew that album was coming up too.
Right.
I didn't know where, But I know that album, he got to me, he got 2. He should have 2 in the top 25.
Right.
One lower than the other one, but this one right here?
Right. The documentary,
I
and I
don't
love
know.
this album.
I don't know.
love this album.
I don't know about that one, 12
Again, me and DOC may be the only one that would do this move, but I feel pretty confident in doing this move. And again, there's no shade to the game. I love this album. Played the hell out of it.
Yeah.
And he literally he was riding the wave of G Unit, 50 Cent. He took music by storm with this album. The Dr. Dre cosign. A lot of these beats that were on his album were beats from what we think would have been Detox. And he killed the beats. I love this album. I wouldn't have it at 8.
I could swap him for any one of the DJ Quik slots.
Okay. So there you go. So Quik is the name, and dollars and cents, you could swap it out. Gotcha. That makes sense.
Either one.
That makes sense. Okay. All right,
I'm
man.
I'm cool with him hovering around the top 10, though.
All right, Baylor, it's getting tougher. All right, coming in at number 7, 2012, the aforementioned Kendrick Lamar, Good Kid, Mad City.
Yikes. Yikes. The 3 albums that hasn't been said. What number is this? Number 7?
Yeah, this is 7. This is 7. So I don't think I'll save that. It's fine at 7. It's fine at 7. Number 6, 1999, Dr. Dre.
I knew that.
The album, 2001.
Yep.
Now, here's what I'll say, Bill. I could swap out 2001 with Good Kid, Mad City. I could swap out 2001 with To Pimp a Butterfly. I personally could swap out 2001 with Victory Lap. So I'm willing to take Victory Lap from 10, put it at 6, take 2001, put it at 10. So it's still in the top 10.
I can't do that. I got to do
But I would then have Victory Lap as the 6th best LA album.
I wouldn't be able to do that because 2001 that was still House Party.
Okay.
That was still and it transferred over to the clubs too.
Okay.
For the club and lounge era, that album transferred over there.
And I'll be the first to admit that I love this album. I don't love it as much as everybody else does, but I recognize where it is because I think the back half of that album wasn't as good as it probably should have been or could have been, but it's still an incredible body of work. And it's Drake. Come on, man. I mean, what are we saying?
Yeah.
All right, Baylor, we're in the top 5 now, and so you know me. You know what I always say about top 5. If your top 5 is tight, you can pretty much interchange all 5. So you can move them around, and it just really, I think, if your top 5 is solid, if you ask a cross section of people, each of them are going to take one and put, 5 could be one for somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So coming in at number 5, 1996, the double album, Tupac Amaru Shakur. It is entitled All Eyes on Me.
Yeah. That to me, as of lately, I understand how people would try to put an asterisk next to that, just like the DOC.
Okay, because he ain't from.
I mean, I'm just telling you the truth. I'm just telling you the truth. But
anybody that was alive in 1996. Tupac, he had us believe, even though we knew better, he had us believing nobody else rolled for LA like he did. As if he lived there, as if he was born there.
That's true. So
asterisk aside.
That's definitely top 5 worthy. Yes. Okay. That can fight. That can fight.
Yeah. Yeah. You get no argument from that. Yeah. I'm cool with it at 5. I don't really, based on what we got coming up, I can't put it any higher. So it's 5 for me. 5 or I really can't move it, but maybe I could probably. It's cool at 5. It's cool at 5.
Yeah.
Number 4, again, 1988. One of the best albums from 1988, arguably the most impactful album from 1988, and that would be N.W.A.'s Straight Outta Compton. Baylor, there's a cross section of people my age that would put this at number 1, and I'm not mad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I will only be able to put it at number 1 based off of what you gonna say about it, what my brother gonna say about it. But as far as me, I wouldn't be able to do that.
Okay.
I don't have any emotional ties to that album outside of hearing it, listening to it as a kid and as an adult. And I could replace that. I could put a Good Kid in that spot.
Okay. Fair enough. And you know what? I think there's a generation of people, hip hop fans, maybe LA residents, that would say the same. And it's just based on their age group. And it's not to say that they didn't go back and listen, but maybe Good Kid, Mad City hit them like how Straight Outta Compton hit me.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
I would go as far as saying they had the spot until that album came out.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Fair.
And they had a good run. You know what I'm saying?
A Hall of Fame run.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it like this. Think about it like this when you think about N.W.A. Not only do you pay attention to N.W.A.'s tree, which, each member has their own tree, but N.W.A. made the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame off of 2 albums. That's it. 2 albums.
So,
and I mean, if you want to throw in, Eazy's album, his solo album, okay, 3 albums. But again, those are all, they're all in the top 25 according to this list.
Yeah.
All right. Number 3, 1991, the album Death Certificate from the homie Ice Cube.
About time.
Yeah, man.
About time. I'm not mad at it being right there.
Same.
I think it can go anywhere between. It probably can go anywhere between 1 and 7.
Yeah,
for me,
easily. It's still one of those albums that I still play all the time. Like I literally was listening to this album 3 days ago. Like when I had the 6-disc changer in the Nissan Sentra Baylor, it never left the changer. Always was in there. Just feel good music, man. I mean, and I think Ice Cube's the best lyricist, out of LA. And so it would be fitting that he would have an album in the top 3. According to this list, at number 2, 1992, Dr. Dre, The Chronic.
Yeah. The crazy part is we already know what number 1 is. You know what I mean? It's impossible. It's impossible for it not to. Not I mean, we know what number 1 is. Number 1, but right. We know what number 1 is.
We know what number 1 is, but I think
it's Dre versus Snoop.
Yeah, it's Dre versus Snoop. So for those of you scoring at home, kids, number 1, Snoop Doggy Dogg, 1993, Doggystyle. I think Chronic should be at 1. I'm not mad if you got Doggystyle at 2. I'm not mad if you got Death Certificate at 2. I'm not mad if you got Straight Outta Compton at 1. I mean, and again, there's going to be a cross section of kids or young people who are going to have Good Kid, Mad City at 1.
Yeah.
No argument.
Yeah, but here's the thing: how I just finished talking about Good Kid, but I can also tell you, Snoop Dogg's rookie run.
Yeah.
It was he didn't come in. He didn't have rookie minutes.
No,
he came in playing damn near 38 minutes off the bat.
Came in smoking. I mean,
and this is the only album between those 2 albums. But I hear this album talked about more. No lie, literally from East Coast artists. They will say in their top 5. They got Snoop album. They got Snoop in there.
No doubt. There are very few
I don't
people.
think anybody has had a rookie run like that. We can look at K-Dot's run. You can look at Eazy run. We have some iconic rookie years out here, but Snoop Dogg, Jesus, when he hit the scene, that was extremely different.
Yeah,
extremely different.
I talk about that all the time, man, and it's hard to put it into words, but like he rode the wave of the deep cover soundtrack song, and then he was all over the Chronic, and then his debut album sold like 850,000 copies in like 3 days. They moved the release date up.
That was in
you had to go. You had to leave your
crazy.
house to go get the music. Baylor. I mean, I'll never forget going to Prince of Orange Mall in Orangeburg, South Carolina. I got there because they opened up the store at midnight so we could buy the album. It was on a Thursday going into Friday. They opened it. So the album was supposed to be released on Tuesday. They pushed it up to Friday because they didn't want it bootlegged and the demand was crazy. We get to the store and we walk inside and there's a line from the door of the store in the mall all the way out the mall by the time I leave. And, you know, again, this is in an era where you had to go physically cop the music. And if you didn't get Doggystyle by Saturday, there was a good chance that your local Sam Goody or your local Best Buy or wherever you were buying your music didn't have it because it was literally sold out. They could not ship enough copies for it.
Here's the thing. You did not want to be the person at the car wash not having that, right? Now, again, I'm too young to be driving anyway or whatever, but I'm just giving you, I'm painting you the picture. These niggas was pulling up barbershop, car wash, they getting ready for the night. I'm not getting ready for the night. Why? Because I'm a young kid. But I'm seeing how the music is, barbecue is flowing through the air. You know what I'm saying? But you got that Snoop. Yeah, of course. Around that time, the politics was heavy. So in certain areas, you wouldn't hear it out of nobody's house, and depending on what block you was on. But you could not help hearing it in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Between 92.3 to be Power 10, like that, he was being played all day, every day, especially on the weekends.
Yes.
Especially on the weekends. So I will put that album being number one versus, you know, the Chronic. I can't be mad if you swap them. I can totally understand why both of them is number one. And I don't think there's too many albums that will come close to it. I will go as far as saying this. K-Dot can retire and be the top West Coast artist we have of all time.
Right.
But those two albums to me will be 1A, 1B of all time.
And you speak of Good Kid, Mad City, and To Pimp a Butterfly?
Good Kid, To Pimp, and I know a lot of people gonna get mad at this, but GNX is up there. GNX is up there.
I love GNX, man. So before we get out of here, I'm gonna read to you guys, if you bear with me. I'm gonna start at 100 and read to you all of the albums that made the list, and you guys can decide, you know, whether or not you think they should be higher or lower on any particular list. Coming in at 100, Ice Cube, Lethal and Jackson. 99, In Gas We Trust, South Central Cartel. 98, It Takes a Thief, Coolio, rest in peace. Number 97, FMI, Vince Staples. Number 96, Perfection, Folsom. Number 5, Still Brazy, YG. Number 94, True Game, CJ Mack. Number 93, Your Entertainment, My Reality, Papa LQ. Number 92, Redemption, J-Rock. Number 91, South Central, Los Scandalous, Caution. Number 90, Conversation, Twins. Number 89, Everything's for Sale, West Side Boogie. Number 88, Death Threats, MC8. Number 87, Second to None. Number 86, Rosecrans, Problem. 85, This is the Shack, the Dove Shack. Shout out to the Dove Shack. 84, Oxymoron, Schoolboy Q. 83, All Blue, G Perico. 82, What You Gonna Do, J.O. Felony. 81, Gorillas in the Mist, The Lynch Mob. Man, I remember that tape. 80, No Limit Top Dog, Snoop. 79, Big Fish Theory, Vince Staples. 78, Chipper Jones Volume 2, Joey Fats. 77, Damn, Kendrick Lamar. 76, the documentary 2, The Game. 75, Gangsta's Paradise, Coolio. 74, 21 and Over, The Alcoholics. 73, West Up, WC and the Mad Circle. 72, The Hard Way, 213. 71, Shoreline, Do That Shit, Shoreline Mafia. 40 Days and 40 Nights, Exhibit, that's number 70. 69, The Blue Carpet Treatment, Snoop Dogg. 68, Living Like Hustlers, Above the Law. 67, From the West Side with Love, Dom Kennedy. 66, The Truth Hurts, Draco the Ruler. 65, Real Brothers, BG Knockout and Draysta, 64, Murder Was the Case, various artists. 63, The Shadiest One, WC. 62, Coast to Coast, The Alcoholics. 61, Follow Me Home, J-Rock. 60, Never Again, Cam. 59, Uncle Sam's Curse, Above the Law. 58, Straight Checking 'Em, Compton's Most Wanted. 57, Habits and Contradictions, Schoolboy Q. 56, LAX, The Game. 55, Rhyme Pays, Ice-T. 54, Summertime 06, Vince Staples. 53, The Eastsiders. 52, For Life, King T. 51, Control System, Ab-Soul. Now listen, that is 100 through 51. All right, so now let's take it from 50 to 26. Coming in at number 50, Street Gospel, The Legend, Sugar Free. 49, The Marathon, Nipsey Hussle. 48, Black Mafia Life, Above the Law. 47, R&G, Rhythm and Gangsta, Snoop Dogg. 46, Mac 10. 45, We Come Strap, MC8. 44, Domino. 43, GNX, Kendrick Lamar. 42, Rhythm Alism, DJ Quik. 41, Lab Cab in California, The Far Side. 40, The Speed of Life, Exhibit. 39, Doctor's Advocate, The Game. 38, Way Too Funky, DJ Quik. 37, The Predator, Ice Cube. 36, Freedom of Speech, Ice-T. 35, Cypress Hill. 34, Restless, Exhibit. 33, Crenshaw, Nipsey Hussle. 32, Yellow Album, Dom Kennedy. 31, Streets is a Mother, Corrupt. 30, Blank Face, Schoolboy Q. 29, Soul on Ice, Razz-Caz. 28, My Crazy Life, YG. 27, Section 80, Kendrick Lamar. 26, Banging on Wax, Bloods and Crips. Now, in case you did not hear or you don't remember the top 25, I'll do that to close the show out. 25, Bow Down, Westside Connection. 24, Niggas for Life, N.W.A. 23, Dog Food, The Dog Pound. 22, Act a Fool, King T. 21, Black Sunday, Cypress Hill. 20, Bizarre Ride to the Far Side, The Far Side. 19, Easy Does It, Eazy-E. 18, OG, Original Gangster, Ice-T. 17, No One Can Do It Better, The DOC. 16, Music to Drive By, Compton's Most Wanted. 15, Power, Ice-T. 14, America Cuz Most Wanted, Ice Cube. 13, Quik is the Name, DJ Quik. Number 12, Regulate, G-Funk Era, Warren G. Number 11, Dollars and Cents, DJ Quik. Number 10, Victory Lap, Nipsey Hussle. Number 9, To Pimp a Butterfly, Kendrick Lamar. Number 8, The Documentary, The Game. Number 7, Good Kid, Mad City, Kendrick Lamar. Number 6, 2001, Dr. Dre. Number 5, All Eyes on Me, Tupac. Number 4, Straight Outta Compton, N.W.A. Number 3, Death Certificate, Ice Cube. Number 2, The Chronic, Dr. Dre. And number 1, Doggystyle, Snoop Dogg. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for me. For my boy Baylor the Great, I am your boy 12 Kyle. We'll catch you guys next time. 5,000. Yeah.
Thank you for listening. This concludes the episode. Be sure to subscribe to the Rap Soul Podcast. You can find the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Follow the podcast on social media. And feel free to continue this discussion on our Reddit page. More importantly, share this podcast with a friend or family member who loves music as much as you do. Until next time, 5,000.